Hey guys, we are in Deuteronomy chapter 8, and boom, it's more of a pep talk from Moses. It's kind of like this grandfather talk. He's gathered his grandchildren around, and he's telling them, here's what I remember back in my day. Here's my story. And he's just telling them, here's what I've learned in life. It's very just practical, good stuff. It's a pep talk. And he's telling them, remember and obey. And this is an important chapter because Jesus quotes part of this chapter when he's tempted. When he's tempted in the wilderness by Satan, he quotes verse 3, which says this: people do not live by bread alone, rather we live by every word that comes from the mouth of God. It's a great verse. But God's not telling us in that verse to cut out carbs. He's not telling us to stay away from the bread or the donuts. He's telling us just to realize that real nourishment, the kind of nourishment that we really need, comes from feasting on God's Word and from digging in and from living what it says. And the big theme of this chapter seems to be, over and over, it's dependence and it's discipline, which are two things that most people aren't really crazy about. Nobody's really in love with the idea of dependence and discipline. Dependence is just saying, I can't do it by myself, I need some help. And discipline is just saying, here's what I have to do this. And I've got to discipline myself, and I've got to do something that's not necessarily fun or easy. Now, the whole point of the chapter is depend on God, and He's going to bring us to a place of abundance. He's going to bring us to a land of no lack. That's in verse 9. And then He also wants to give us the power to succeed. And that's in verse 18. But just like any good parent, He's going to discipline us. Just like any good parent, He's going to do what's for our good and not what's for our comfort, and discipline us from time to time. In verse number 5, it says this: I want you to know in your hearts that the Eternal, your God, has been training you, just as a parent trains a child. So obey His commands, live as He has instructed you, and fear Him. It's really good stuff. Trust the fact that God knows best, and learn to depend upon Him. Allow Him to discipline you when He needs to, and live in the land of giddy up.